Hello and welcome to.
Hey, we like your pod.
And we're going to tell you why. Hi, it's Dawn here, and I am joined, as always, by my trusted partner, Matt Pickett. How you doing, Matty?
Pretty darn good, Dawn. Could say that a lot of good stuff right now over here because we have a house guest, which we love.
Nice.
It's one of my sisters-in-law, and she's visiting us from New York, so it was good to see her. And this week, the students started to move into campus. So, like, over the summer, there's some students, there's orientation and stuff like that. But like when they really come back for the fall, and especially the first year students move in, it's just electric. The buzz around campus, the feeling of like, here we go, new school year is going to start on Monday. Let's do this. So like that's really exciting. Yeah. So and I made some really delicious grilled chicken and corn tonight, so I'm feeling good. How about you, Don? How you doing?
Ooh. So how did you? Okay, you grilled the chicken and you grilled the corn. So like corn on the cob type of thing.
Yes.
Okay. I made a fresh batch. I'm getting my appetite back for actual food, like real food. Good. In fact, I've been really hungry the last couple of days. So I'm like eating everything in sight. I've been eating and I've been getting my nutrition, but I haven't felt like it.
Yeah.
With the COVID thing. So yesterday I had a craving, and my neighbor went and picked up some fresh fish from already cooked for me, of course, from the fish market. Excuse me, it's still cough. So from the fish market down the street, which is so wonderful. And then today I made we're having a heat wave. It's really hot.
What, it's like I know. What, like how hot is it?
It's I didn't look, but it's hot. So it's probably like 70. It was probably 78, 76, but it's hot. I can't describe it. It's hot.
No.
It said 80. It said 80 by the airport, but
whoa. Probably a day below 90 for most of the summer here. It was awful.
It's just, I hate it. It's so hot. But because when you're recovering, but anyway, so the point is, I'm not to complain about the heat. I made a nice batch of tzatziki, which is, I just want to say, the best summer food. So like the best August food. Have you ever made it from scratch?
I'm only familiar with the sauce. You said it like it's right. Is it more than just the sauce?
It kind of is a sauce. Most people know it as what you put like on gyros or certain Greek falafel for me. And but I've had it where it's kind of thicker, and people use it for dip. You can dip pita chips in it or pita bread. But guess what? You can dip vegetables. You can dip whatever. And I made mine purposely. I used to make it, but I haven't recently. I made mine purposely kind of thicker. So you could just, sorry, we're late. Iowa Joe says we're all late. Coach Lombardi would be upset. Oh my gosh, I got to tell you. Okay, after this story, I'll tell you about my conversation with Bonnie during the preseason game on Sunday, whatever day that was. That horrible day. Okay, is drug testing required? No, drugs are required. Okay,
I think it should be.
So like a really good quality Greek yogurt, but depending on how thin you want it is how much like cucumber juice you use or how much lemon juice you can thin it down. Sure. But I added like 2 to 1, 3, sour cream this time. Because I'm mostly using it as a dip. So a real high quality, like Hampshire type thick sour cream, not the thin stuff. And then good yogurt, like the fatty kind, not like don't bother. And then little Persian cucumber, the long thin one, or an English, peel it, and just tiny little pieces so that a lot of juice gets into the concoction, because you want it to sit for 24 hours before you to get the full benefit.
So like the flavor is like blend, that kind of a thing?
Yeah, so it sets up a little bit more. And then fresh dill.
I was like, gotta have dill, right? That's
Lots
an
of
important
that.
thing.
Lots
Yeah,
of
of
that.
course.
And fresh lemon juice.
Mm-hmm.
And then garlic. And then it's really simple. And then if you want it, a little bit of salt. I noticed because I've been doing store-bought and restaurant type for so long, it's like, oh, there's no salt in this. This doesn't taste the same. So I did add a little salt. But oh my gosh, I made it kind of thick. You can make it thinner, but I mean, you could just eat it. But okay, so tzatziki with cucumbers and lemonade. That is like so cool and refreshing.
Yeah.
Like that's my summer, the rest of the summer kind of, well, at least the rest of August, what I'm going to be consuming a lot of. That's what I'm making, when I made it for the game on Sunday.
Sounds amazing.
You could put tzatziki on grilled chicken.
Yeah. Put it on a burger. I mean, heck, put it on anything. It's delicious.
It's so good.
Absolutely.
I could just take a bath in it. It's the best.
That would be refreshing, question mark? I don't know.
It would. You could for your skin, the yogurt. So I kind of had a funny conversation with, Bonnie. She's like in her 80s, and she's the one who really got me to be a football fan. Her and Lori, of course, but out here in the West Coast, she loved the Packers her whole life, and she's getting a little older now. I mean, she's getting in her upper 80s, I think. And she doesn't watch the games as much because she gets stressed out. Her husband won't let her because of her blood pressure. And she was driving me nuts during the game. It's like a preseason game, right?
Yeah.
And I said, well, they're not playing the first string. So, I don't know what I said.
The Packers aren't, exactly.
Right. Calm down a little bit. Yeah. This is an evaluation. There's going to be cut downs. And don't forget, there's going to be cut downs in 9 days. And she's like quoting, this is where Lombardi comes in. She's like quoting Lombardi back at me. Every game counts and all this. And I'm like, oh, God. So I had to have a beer. I had to have a beer. I had like half of it and passed out. Yeah, she was quoting Lombardi because she's much more knowledgeable about anything than I am. But in anything, she's just like a walking encyclopedia. But it was kind of funny. She said, my son told me to turn it off because they look terrible. And I'm like, wait a minute. So then I started reasoning with her. Then I'm like, oh, forget it. And then I got on Twitter and I'm like, oh, forget it. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I thought gave the best perspective, my favorite tweet, and this is like an unofficial, I guess, superlative. My favorite tweet about that was mid-game when Schneidman tweeted like, "Oh, well, if all 11 of our starters get sick at the same time, this team is screwed." It's like exactly like that. We're fine. It's ridiculous. The Broncos were being weird and playing their starters like for a whole bunch of the game, grinding down our second and third string. Who cares?
Yeah. Does anybody know why they did that?
I think it's because Sean Payton's a big weirdo. I think it's
the only game they're going to win all year. Probably.
Yeah, seriously. No, Sean Payton's a huge weirdo. I think. I think he's strange. So I'll go on record saying that big weirdo.
I will endorse that.
Yeah, but then we saw how the Packers did against the Ravens in the joint practices today, Thursday.
Exciting.
Just really gave to them. Like that was like okay, all right. Like we got a team. Like we knew we had a team. Yes.
Yeah, there's going to be ups and downs. We don't know. I mean, there's a lot of changes from last year. So it's kind of a good wake up call. Like don't expect them to have a 17-0 season and win the Super Bowl. It's like, calm down, people. It's like going to take a while to get to the end of this and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I know I'm still pretty darn excited. I mean, I'm still excited enough where I started watching some of the press conferences and coverage of the Ravens. And I was just like, I can't even stand myself. I'm so excited. But I'm also excited because I love Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews is in the house. And I forgot Derek. Big Derek is on the Ravens. Derek, big, wonderful Derek, running back. On the Ravens.
You think I would know this? And I'm just sitting here
going, okay, my brain. I forgot his last. I forgot his last name. Derrick Henry.
Oh yeah, I forgot he's with
King
them. Okay,
Henry, King Henry, Mark is
I
there, and
forgot
then
that
of
he went there.
course,
Yeah.
I know, and then of course, their quarterback. So super, super, super
Hmm.
fun week. Okay, North. Okay, yeah, and so Mark says Denver is probably the worst team in their division. Exactly.
Probably. Yeah. I mean,
Well, in what's his name? We're not going to mention his name. If he doesn't do well this season, he's going to be out of there, I think. No NFL football before September. Right.
yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
Correct. I had to think about that for a second, but yes, because it's so close to September. Yes, Derrick Henry. Yes. Oh, I love Derrick Henry. I think
He's so much fun to watch. Yeah, no,
he
he's
is
awesome.
so fun to watch, just like a machine or something.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be Ravens are gonna be fun team, I think, this year.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean they're so good. I don't want to root for them since I live in Cincinnati. You know, it's like a sin here.
No, no, no,
But
no. We're
fun team, fun team.
well, yeah, we're just practicing. That's
That's
all.
right.
Yeah.
But it seemed like the practice from the sort of like reports are coming out from the beat reporters. It seemed like things were like really chill, you know, and there weren't any scuffles, I think, and it seemed like it was just a good practice,
Hmm.
which you love to see that because so many of those things seem to like go south, all of a
Well,
sudden.
yeah,
So
especially with the Sean Payton team. Hey,
no, seriously,
come
um,
on.
that guy. But with Jair and well, Lamar, sorry, we're
Lamar, I
college
know.
teammates, which
I
is cool. So like the
know.
pictures of them kind of like hanging out on the field and talking to each other, it's like, oh, I love
Yes.
that.
It's
So cool.
also it's just so good. It's also good when things happen in Green Bay. My sister was up in Green Bay a couple days ago. She did her annual Lambo Leap picture. Super cute. I'll have to
Love that.
send it to you.
Nice.
Let's see what else. Oh, and okay, one superlative is kind of lame, but I mean lame because everybody's got this. The Ravens doing the bike rides with the kids.
I loved that.
Oh my
That made me
god!
happy. That
And the
brought me
kids,
much
that's
joy.
got it.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh, I almost cried. The kids had to love it too. And then I think that means more kids got to go, right? Because there were more,
I
or
guess
did they
so.
have
Probably
less Packers?
is.
I don't know.
I don't
Hopefully
know.
they got like double player, of that. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, the fact that Lamar got on a bike and did the thing, like
Yeah,
participated in the the ritual that this
yeah.
is, that's great. It's great stuff.
And Mark says there was a lot of chirping
Oh, was
this
there? I
week.
didn't see that from any of the beat reporters at all.
There
Oh, unless you
definitely
mean
was
like the
in
fans, but I didn't hear that the
Oh,
players were, so I'm not sure.
yeah, Denver. There was definitely a lot of chirping in
Yeah.
Denver.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you got a nice haircut there, Maddie.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was at the point where I couldn't. It wasn't breathing. You know what I mean? And then you get the haircut, and just everything's light, and you feel like ready to take on the world. So happy with it. Absolutely. Thanks.
So I got a haircut too, but it wasn't
Okay.
intentional. It was not. I have to go to the
Intentional.
stylist. So, okay, when I had COVID, which was, I don't still have the virus, but I'm still recovering. But
Hmm.
for for at least 2 or 3 weeks, I was taking like 2 to 3 showers or baths a day because I was so hot. I was just like, ugh.
Oof. Hmm.
And I would wash my hair like I always do
Hmm.
and throw it up in a bun
Hmm.
and then go lay down. Well, I did that for several weeks, and then I realized last week sometime, or maybe before last Thursday, I think I had a big knot, a big snarl like a kid
Oh
gets. Yeah.
no.
And I was like, I can't get this thing out. It was so bad. And I have super like baby fine hair. So
Hmm.
I just chopped it. But I didn't realize like I mean, I have layers now. So I'm gonna go to the
Whoops.
my sister's like, don't. Anyway, I'm gonna go to the stylist and I'm gonna get like one of those 1970s shag haircuts.
There you go. That's right. You make something out of it. You make it work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was pretty awful. Like I didn't realize, like I said, I thought it was more in the back and it wasn't gonna take off like 8 inches of hair.
That's crazy.
Whatever. I don't have the snarl anymore. So I'm looking forward to a haircut. Hopefully I can get in sooner rather than later,
Mhm.
not like 3 months. Like I might have to just go to somebody local and just get somebody to do it. Hopefully not regret it. So yeah, I loved this week. Yeah, I didn't. It kind of made me forget all about Sunday. Like, didn't even happen.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What was your takeaway on the whole Sunday thing? I
Oh,
mean,
it was stupid and
yeah.
pointless, and I wasn't actively watching it.
Mm,
We just got a Nintendo Switch at home here. We got it as part of a promotion for switching over our home internet. This whole separate thing,
mm,
and so I was playing Mario Kart with the kids. Well, the game was on my phone, kind of like down, on the table there. So I was like just kind of half watching it. I actually caught all like
yeah.
the best parts for some reason. Haven't watched it
Mm-hmm,
down to the best parts, but
mm-hmm.
yeah. I mean, it was like the most preseason thing you can imagine as
Yeah.
far as like a product on the field. So no, I nothing it, and I'm excited about what's happening going forward. Put it that way.
And you're starting to compile
Oh
your 53.
yes.
Okay, tell us about that.
Okay, so yeah, for those who don't know, every year for the last, well, this will be the fourth year. I have been like finding people's 53-man roster predictions and compiling them into a spreadsheet, and it's kind of a fun way to see like who's the most accurate. And I know there's like the flip side. We just have to acknowledge that this means we're talking about people who are not going to have a job soon, and that's sad.
It
But that
is.
said, yeah, that
Mm-hmm,
disclaimer, out of the way. Yeah, I think, trying to think like how much do I know about the roster building and what the team's thinking and how these players have been doing in the preseason, and trying to like, show everyone how smart you are with like if your prediction's good. That's fun. And then compiling them and comparing them, I've really enjoyed. So me, I say it all the time, big spreadsheets guy, of course. We both are, I know. And so I just put up a post today about that. I think people are trying to get the word out, hey, make sure to share your roster predictions here on the thread. And I'll be putting those, starting to do that this weekend as those start to pop up. I'm really excited about that. The only downside this year is that Monday is going to be kind of the most busy day for like getting those in and getting those kind of into the spreadsheet. And Monday is also the first day of classes at UC.
school. Yeah, yeah.
Usually that Monday in the calendar would be the beginning of the second week, which is a very like
Mm-hmm,
not busy time for advisors, but the whole first week is like bananas because students making like last minute schedule changes and
mm-hmm.
freaking out about stuff. So it's gonna be, I think, just a late night on Monday night, probably getting them all in there, but definitely worth it. So point being, if you have or have seen any 53-man roster predictions for the Packers, I have as my pinned post on the Twitter the call for adding them in there. So please, share them there, please.
Yeah, do yours, or if you know someone who's doing them, or both, tag Matt or send them, or put it under the thread. That's the best
Yeah,
way.
just because, like I said, it's my pin post, and Mark does
Yeah,
make a good point. He says 53 plus 17, and 16 plus one extra for the international pathway, so it comes to 17.
okay, yeah,
Which is a good point, but I'm just going for the 53. I'm not trying to get anybody's predictions for the practice squad or
practice.
anything like that. But it is true to remember that those are important people. They're getting paid. They're part of the team. They can be called
True.
up any given Sunday. So yeah, no,
Yep.
acknowledge them. Practice squad matters.
Yeah, they're keeping everyone else in shape too. So will you be sharing that on our next show next week?
Yeah, definitely. I would love to talk through that next week after we know what actually happened, since the 53-man roster is going to be announced Tuesday afternoon. So by
Mhm.
Thursday, of course, we will look back and see who did the best, who had the most interesting outside take, all that kind of stuff.
I can't wait. I can't wait. So Alex Hale is the IPP player. Is that who it is? Where's he from?
Yeah, well, he's from Australia. He was the third kicker. He's kind of like the third kicker right now at this
Oh
point.
yeah, yeah.
I
I
think it
forgot
was
about
an interesting way to kind of keep him around without having to waste a roster spot on him. But that meant that of course, it means that Kenneth Odomegwu is out of a job. So I don't
I
know
know. I
what
didn't
he's
know
doing
that.
right now. I don't know what's
I
going to
forgot
happen.
about that.
Kind
That
of
was
liked him,
yesterday. I
so I don't
know.
know what's going to happen with him exactly, but
Hopefully he'll be on the practice at least.
or something, or picked up another team. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. To get, I know. I saw that cut and I was like, what? I forgot about Alex Hale. I forgot about it. It sounds like such a English name. Like, it didn't sound like an international name. Like,
No, yeah, because it is. Yeah, it sounds like a white person name. Is what you mean?
yeah,
It doesn't
I
sound
want to say it that
like
way.
Kenneth Odomegwu.
Exactly.
Does not sound like a white person name. Yes,
American. He sounds
American.
American. Whatever that is.
American.
Whatever
Okay.
that is. Okay, so yeah, so this is our second last show of the season. We'll be going on our fourth
Oh my
year
God.
next week. No, next week, one more week after next week. So
After
the
next
next week we have Janet finally
week.
for our last show of the
So
season.
glad. So glad.
Yeah, perfect. It's perfect. So okay, so I think I gave all my superlatives away already. Somewhere in there,
Mhm.
in that mess, in that.
And that beautiful mess.
So what do you have this week? I know we want to run early this week too because Matt has company. So
Yeah, we got
let it
company.
roll.
So yeah, I have 3 as usual. And
Okay.
this is a week where there's been a lot of good output from especially the beat reporters, like stories and tweets and everything else, podcasts. So I actually had to like actively not go all beat reporters, but I managed to find a really good third one. So there'll be 2 beat reporter things, 1 non-beat reporter. I'm actually, when it comes down to it, I'll just say it's actually the third one I'm most excited about. But anyhow,
Yeah.
my first one is best positivity from an unexpected source. So on the Green 19 podcast, which is usually J.R. Radcliffe kind of hosting the show with Ryan Wood and Tom Silverstein. And usually, Ryan Wood is he's pretty, I don't want to say necessarily outright negative, but he's not at all like, Mr. Sunshine by any stretch. He's definitely got sort of a sarcasm, sort of a, that kind of a mild, like early onset grumpiness, let's say, about him. I do not say this as a criticism or anything like that.
No,
I think he does great work. He's a fantastic writer, does great stuff. So if you're hearing this, Ryan, in the off chance, just know I appreciate what you do. But the thing that was funny on the podcast this week after the preseason game was that he was saying, you know what, I'm going to be positive this week. I'm going to talk about why this game was a good thing. And he went into it. And it's just like, oh, my goodness, how did he find positives? Things. Yeah, of all people and all things to find something positive. And so he made a really good point that the Packers had to go do this thing, and so what could have gone wrong is they could have gotten more injuries, and they came out with like, I think no injuries. I think maybe 1 concussion or something, if I remember correctly. But mostly everyone came out fine, which is wonderful. That's a win,
right?
And even though there wasn't much of a chance for really good player evaluation, since it was like the Broncos, starters against our second and third string, for a big chunk of the game,
I guess.
Still, just the fact that nobody got injured is huge. So it was funny hearing Ryan like work against his nature and against his like impulse and inclination to like be super positive about it. But it was fun. It was really fun. And by the end of the episode, he's going back to being negative about things. Because when you start talking about the kickers, woof, So yeah, best positivity from an unexpected source. Ryan Wood on this week's Green 19 post show podcast, because I have one pre-show, of course.
I love that. And I love that podcast. I like Ryan for who he is. I like all the different shapes and colors that people come in, and we don't all have to be like us. What are we? Militantly positive.
Militantly positive.
I like him. He just reminds me of a Wisconsin guy. I don't even know if he is a Wisconsin guy, but he reminds me of most guys in Wisconsin with that kind of cynical, sarcastic. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I won't say why. Yeah.
So that second one then? Should we get over that?
Yeah.
All right, this is best news. So we found out this week there's going to be a new podcast in town. It won't be every week. It's I think every month or so. This is going to be the Matt LaFleur podcast that he'll be doing with Matt Schneidman. So double Matt action there on that.
Wow.
I am so excited for this because we love Matt Schneidman. We talk about him on the show all the time. He's of course the reporter that covers the Packers for The Athletic, which is amazing website, amazing work they do. So knowing that, like, I think it's once a month, we're gonna get to hear like more of an extended conversation, more of a one-on-one with Steinman talking to LaFleur. I am amped for that. I cannot wait for the first episode to come out. I think they said there's one coming out like next week, if I remember correctly. Ooh. It's going to be available as its own podcast, I believe, but also it will be part of like Matt Steinman's regular podcast output. So you can kind of catch it two different places. But yeah, I can't wait.
Oh yeah, because I'm expecting not the usual milquetoast questions. No offense to anyone else, but sometimes those questions are a little bit padded, and we know Matt LaFleur has certain things that make him sick, and he doesn't want to talk about. But I think Matt Snyderman is a good match for. It's so funny because I was just thinking about the two of them. I was just finishing listening to was it today's press conference with Matt,
Mhm.
and I didn't remember hearing Schneiderman's question, but I was thinking he said something to Bill wearing the wrong color. I probably showed up in purple or something. I don't know. Anyway, Matt LaFleur is definitely coming to his own in terms of taking ownership of those podcasts compared to, obviously when he first started.
Yeah.
It's just really cool to see him develop as a coach in those off the field kind of ways.
Yeah, it totally is.
Yeah, it's really cool. My stamp of approval on all of that. And what's your final?
My last one is best return. So this is my one that isn't, like I said, a beat reporter thing, but is the one I'm most excited about. So I've been waiting for this to happen, Dawn. I've been so excited for this to happen. It finally came.
Yes.
This week. And what it is that not only is reporting is eligible back, but this week our guy Matub is back in our ears with good takes and even funnier random comments. And I'm so happy to have Matub back kind of, in the mix here, because I've really missed him. Matub, if you're listening, man, I love you, dude. I'm so happy you're back. And the episode that you guys put this week was, as always, spectacular. So glad to have you back, Matub.
Welcome back, Matub. Same for me. I love that guy. We love you, Matub. We enjoyed you being on our show way back when. It feels like 100 years ago. Everything feels like 100 years ago. When you're starting a new season, well, that too. And when you're in the middle of a heat wave.
Yeah, I know. It's rough out there.
It is hot though for me. Anyway.
Well, that's the thing. Like obviously I'm busting your chops about it, but like I get it. It's all relative, and if it's a temperature that you're not comfortable with, used to, whatever, it's gonna feel hot. Like no, I get it. Like I didn't mean to. Though I'm kidding with you, I do recognize that it's uncomfortable. Totally.
I'm sensitive to temperature changes. I honestly do think it is a thing. Like the longer you're here, the more years. If you get a couple degrees, and it's like, oh my God, it's freezing. Oh my God, it's hot. Yeah, it's just like kind of hard. I don't know how people live in hot weather anymore. Like Arizona.
You just get used to it. That's what it is, because it's what you get used to
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jump in the pool, all that. I took Tosh out for another ride in her Tosher cat stroller. Did I tell you I got a stroller?
Yeah.
And I put a little clip of it on Facebook, I think. I can't remember. And basically, it's just her screaming. I mean, you can't see her because the thing is closed, and she's a cat, and I'm not going to let her out. But it's like her screaming, and I meow back. Like we just go meow, 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 meow. And that's what we do. And that's cats, though. It's how cats are. But I've been taking her out like this time of night, and it's so cool and breezy and night. Yeah. So the nights are really cool, and the mornings are super cool. It's just like a couple hours in the afternoon where I get like, my apartment's hot. Yeah. I went out today for a little while, and so I got to escape that. In my COVID recovery, I have been finally getting a few things done, so that's feeling good. So I'm not going to hopefully enter football season and all these trials that I'm really excited about that are coming up. I won't be entering them with like 6 million things on my plate, just maybe 600.
Ooh, that's much better. Yeah.
Oh, it's so much better. A couple big things to take care of, but I'm kind of proud of myself for functioning a little bit here and there.
It's not a small thing at this point. You've been through a lot. Absolutely.
Being an adult is just like,
oh God, it's the worst. Whoever thought it was a good idea?
Whoever, why didn't somebody tell me? Like, this is what I keep asking myself it's only occurred to me the last year. Why didn't somebody tell me it was going to be this way? Like, difficult.
No.
I could have left earlier. Like,
whoa, that's
no, I don't mean it that way. I don't know. I didn't mean it that way. It came out wrong.
Could just stayed in childhood longer. I think that's what you're
right. I could have done something. I could have done a Peter Pan. I don't know. Something. There you go. Figure something out. Anyway, made different choices. No, I think the part of it is I I enjoyed myself a lot as an adult, and it's only recently that it's like, oh my God, I really am an adult. I'm not enjoying myself as much anymore. I mean, I kind of had more childhood than most people because I didn't have kids, and so I was able to flit around and do things like a 19-year-old for a long time until I was like 50. So anywho, well, new haircut for you, new one for me. Hopefully this week. There was something else. I forgot the last thing I was going to say, but that's okay because I'm elderly and that happens.
There it is.
There it is.
I had to fit it in before. We're almost there, Dawn. We're almost saying about your age, and then.
Okay, well, no further questions from the chat. So, hey, Maddie, why don't we bring her home? We know who our guest is going to be next week. We're super excited about it. So you have company. So how about we just bring her home and make this a half-hour podcast this week?
All right. Well, friends, we'd love to have a chance to interview you and shout you out if you're a subscriber and a football fan. If you'd like to nominate someone to be a guest on our podcast, please let us know. Our DMs are open on all the social platforms. And folks, when you subscribe to our podcast, you help us to keep spreading the love in our community. And the best way to help this podcast grow is by sharing it with your friends and family.
Yes, Maddie, that's right. Because we love you. We're so glad to know you, to be fans of you, and have the luxury of being fans of the most storied team in the NFL. We appreciate your support, your subscriptions, and sharing our pod. And we look forward to seeing you next week on
Hey, we like your pod.
Football in general comes down to discipline and people owning their roles. And when you aren't disciplined or you go outside the scheme, bad stuff happens.